The standard blueprint for an American career suggests that the ages between 45 and 60 represent the summit. This is Generation X, currently well into their third decade of work. By all conventional logic, these are the peak earning years, the period where decades of managerial experience finally pay off. This chart measuring generational sentiment reveals a different reality. When we track optimism across age groups, Gen X is currently polling as the most pessimistic demographic in the country. They are less confident about their future than the boomers ahead of them or the millennials behind them. This sentiment extends beyond isolated complaining. It represents a synchronized realization occurring across dozens of different industries. Capable professionals who have never met are suddenly landing on the exact same conclusions about their careers. These individuals are quietly redoing the math on what the next 10 to 15 years actually look like. They are finding that the career runway is narrowing just as they expected to reach their maximum velocity. This widespread frustration represents a logical, inevitable output of a career equation that has become structurally broken. When talented professionals hit a ceiling simultaneously, it points to a problem with the building, not the individuals. We see the first failing variable, the value gap. While generating massive revenue growth, their individual income flatlines. This misalignment is shared. Peers everywhere confirm this gap between contributions and opportunities defines their professional lives. That lack of opportunity is tied to the second variable, the generational bottleneck. The cohort ahead of Generation X is holding on to senior leadership positions well past the traditional window for a handoff. This bottleneck is a macro-level societal trend, and there is no clearer evidence for it than the history of the United States presidency over the last 30 years. The baby boomer generation first took hold of the highest office in 1992 with Bill Clinton. That generational monopoly continued through the 2000s, with power remaining within the same age cohort. As the timeline moves forward, the pattern remains perfectly steady. Even in recent transitions, the generation waiting in the wings was skipped over entirely. This has created an unbroken line of leadership by a single aging demographic spanning decades. This macro trend is mirrored in the corporate boardroom. Wealth and authority are arriving significantly later for Gen X than any generation before them. This leads to the third, strictly personal variable, the remainder. Many professionals in this bracket are realizing they have roughly 10 years of peak energy and earning capacity left. It's a countdown that forces a decision. When the value gap and the bottleneck collide within that 10-year window, it produces a state of heartbreak. This is a specific misalignment where a professional still cares deeply about their work, but can no longer reconcile it with their organization's environment. Consider a leader who sustains 6 months of 12-hour days, only to realize the organization's entire direction is flawed. Their effort isn't the problem, the model itself is. This state cannot be addressed by simply taking time away. Rest can cure exhaustion, but a vacation does nothing to fix the structural misalignment of heartbreak. Resolving this requires leadership that adapts to what people actually need. Unfortunately, that critical adaptive capacity has largely eroded in the very companies where it was once most prevalent. The career runway for Generation X became significantly shorter at the exact moment the generational handoff got slower. Seeing this math clearly offers a sense of relief. It proves that hitting the ceiling is a generational constraint rather than an individual failure. Because the old career math is broken, this generation is beginning to think in decades rather than single years. They are evaluating their options with a new level of honesty. We are seeing a shift toward building a portfolio of diversified career options. The goal is to move away from a single, stagnant grind and toward a path where expertise actually translates into impact. Naming this pattern out loud removes the weight of personal failure. Those willing to trade their career camouflage for this level of honesty are often the first to begin figuring out what comes next.